Kamali taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Cancel culture is the word of the year, but is it time that that part of our culture was cancelled? Laughing at a racist comment got this Australian teenage political leader into trouble. Emojis, West African style. And so close, but yet so far. It's Tuesday's Animals Doing Stuff. Well, top of our newsfeed, cancel culture. It's been named the word of the year by the Macquarie dictionary, which got us to thinking. Is the cancellation of people because of their bad behaviour, whether real or perceived, good for the culture? Here's Adama.
Cancel culture is the Macquarie Dictionary's word of the year. They describe it as the attitudes within a community which call for or bring about the withdrawal of support from a public figure. But it's not exactly a new concept. John Ronson's 2015 book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed, explores the way communities have punished people for their wrongdoings throughout history. And the New York Times made a satirical video of what cancel culture might have looked like hundreds of years ago.
You are hereby sentenced to be publicly cancelled by having thy head smoked.
This will be a good one.
Yeah, love a good cancelling.
Cancel culture is a manifestation of people power. It takes the word fame out of famous, so we end up with us. That means everyone is held to the same standard, and we can hold the powerful to account. Surely that's a good thing. For instance, the hashtag #MeToo movement allowed women from all levels of society to speak out against sexual predators. As a result, R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein were irrevocably cancelled. But sometimes the cancellation doesn't stick. Kanye's support for Trump and his comment about slavery being a choice put him to the edge of the cancellation cliff.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
But he didn't quite fall off. Kanye's Sunday services are gaining momentum, and his new album has been popular, proof of how subjective cancel culture can be. Time magazine journalist Sarah Haggie recently wrote that the idea is that if you do something that others deem problematic, you automatically lose all your currency. Your voice is silenced, you're done. Those who condemn cancel culture usually imply that it's unfair and indiscriminate. Former US President Barack Obama isn't a fan either.
Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself. Because man, you see how woke I was? I called you out.
There are times when cancelling someone seems like the right thing to do, but other times one has to ask themselves if it's the best thing to do. Between accountability and diplomacy, cancel culture doesn't look like it's going anywhere, be it on the internet or in the dictionary.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, a newspaper in New Zealand has been forced to apologise for publishing this cartoon mocking the measles crisis in Samoa. It shows two women coming out of a travel agent, with one saying, "I asked what are the most popular spots at the moment. She said the ones people are picking up in Samoa." At least 55 children have died after contracting measles in Samoa. The Trumps have put their Christmas decorations up in the White House, and Mrs. Trump, the First Lady, has published her yearly video showing her wandering through them. They look sparkly, which I guess is good for some people. But she is getting some flack on social for the way she's wearing that coat on her shoulders in what has to be one of 2019's most obnoxious fashion trends. It was described by the Washington Post fashion critic thus: "When aesthetics start to overwhelm logic, when a flourish becomes a cliche, it's time to retire it." For Trump, the cliche seems to be a crutch, a way of not having to be fully present. Ouch.
I used to have nothing.
And Marvel Studios are continuing to churn out loud blockbusters for people who like movies based on comic books. This one is called Black Widow, and it's a Scarlett Johansson vehicle. The trailer is full of obvious moments and tells us it's out in May of next year. And Lil Bub, the internet famous cat, is dead. It was announced on her Instagram to her 2.4 million followers. Bub was born with a bunch of health issues, including dwarfism. She had no teeth, which is why her tongue lolls out like that. Her owner is a guy called Mike Brodavsky. He rescued Bub when she was a kitten and has raised more than $700,000 for animal charities during her lifetime. In the post that announced the cat's death, Brodavsky wrote that they have lost the purest, kindest, and most magical living force on our planet. Lil Bub, 2011 to 2019. She was 48 in cat years. Now, the bad behaviour of some teenagers in Australia celebrating the end of high school has become a national issue. Hashtag LMPQLD has been trending. That's because a video showing the chairman of the Queensland Young Liberal National Party has gone viral. Look at this.
All let us rejoice.
These patriotic Aussie teens hit the streets of the Gold Coast during an end-of-year event to ask other school leavers their views on a range of topics. It started off fine.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. Yeah, I think, it's a thing that's brought us Australians together, and, it's a symbol of Australia.
And then quickly went downhill.
Personally, I'm fed up with having all these sports stars stand out on our stages and not sing the national anthem. They're putting our Australian jumper on. They're going to sing the anthem. I mean, we've got to stop celebrating a culture that couldn't even invent the bloody wheel, for God's sake. We've got to start enjoying and living in Western culture.
That slur against Indigenous Australians has prompted outrage on social media.
Yes, as if white people invented the wheel. Not even private school education can help these young LNP losers.
So this is what private school education breeds? No wonder private schools are so heavily financed by government. Breeding ground for young, liberal brats.
The boys involved are members of the Queensland branch of the Liberal National Party, which is the party currently running Australia's government. And the LNP's Queensland leader's response didn't go down well at all.
Personally, it is inappropriate and the party are taking action. Well, the party have made a very clear statement. This is inappropriate and the party are taking action. Well, I've been very clear in my statement. It is inappropriate and the party is doing the right thing and taking appropriate action. Well, the party is taking action. The party have put out a statement, and I'll say it again. This is inappropriate, and the party is doing the right thing and taking action.
The three teens who made the video have now been suspended from the party, but many people online say the party has to do more to address racism in its ranks.
The LNP is an inherent racist party. The kids are a problem, but more so, it's the leaders like Scott Morrison from which the disease exudes.
Today's scandal is not a one-off incident involving random kids. It is the latest in a pattern of events involving young LNP members who are connected to federal MPs endorsing racist and extremist views.
Okay, we keep on spinning around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday. Well, Greta Thunberg is in Lisbon. She has finally made it across the Atlantic and will be on her way to the COP25 conference in Madrid. The climate crisis activist does not travel by air as a way of reducing her carbon footprint. She hitched a ride across the ocean with two Australian bloggers.
This trip has been great. Actually, I think we needed some relaxing time, all of us, especially me, some time to sort of think everything through and to relax. And now I feel good. I feel like I want to continue now. I feel energized.
TikTok is being sued in the US for allegedly transferring large amounts of user data to servers in China. The lawsuit claimed that TikTok profits off this data and it's done without the user's express consent. TikTok is the fastest growing social media app out there. 500 million people enjoy the 15-second videos of people dancing, lip syncing, and doing pranks. It's owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. Well, this is Kim Jong-un opening a new city in North Korea. It's called Samjeon and it's near Mount Piketsu, which is a sacred spot for the North Korean regime. It's where his father, Kim Jong-il, was born, apparently. It's described as a socialist paradise and will have hotels and a ski resort, as well as housing for 4,000 families. People were there to celebrate its inauguration. As you can see, there was also a firework display. It's called the Samjeon Township and also has a stadium, a hospital, as well as a blueberry drink factory and a souvenir shoppy. The emoji, preferred method of expression for many, many people. And now, thanks to a new app called Zouzoukwa, people can use the little pictures to express themselves like a West African. Now that's progress.
The idea didn't come to me straight away. At the beginning, I was looking at ways of promoting Ivorian masks, incorporating them into my work and during my holidays. From first year to second year, I thought about creating emojis to achieve that.
It saves time and allows you to transmit emotions faster. When you write something with text, you don't get the emotion really. But with emojis, you can really express a lot more emotions.
It's obvious to me that we needed these emojis. They are emojis in which we recognize ourselves, that translate our day-to-day, our reality, and obviously, since emojis are elements that help us identify each other, if they are African, you can't get any better than that, really.
Well, next up, Rockabye Baby. It's a record label that makes popular music into lullabies for babies, and their latest release is generating a fair bit of interest online. Can you tell me what song this is? Well, not sure. It's the first track released by one Calvin Rodus. You still can't work it out? Okay, watch this. And last up, today's Animals Doing Stuff is a dog desperate for some Thanksgiving leftovers. This is Lena the Golden Doodle. She and her owner's other dog, Olive, have almost 50,000 Instagram followers. And maybe she'd have some more if her owner didn't post gross videos like this. I mean, who is going to eat that turkey after that dog has had its tongue near it? And that'll do from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can see me again tomorrow.